Okay, well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We might have more people on this morning because a lot of people, unfortunately, are probably stuck at home or
That's true.
closed up somewhere on lockdown or whatever.
Homeschooling?
Hey, we have a couple of exciting things to share with you. And I have with us our educational content administrator,
Yes.
Jennifer. But before we do that, we're going to talk about some wonderful opportunities for kids coming up in June and July.
Yes, this summer.
And I wanted to talk to you about some other things that we're doing here also over the next 2 weeks. And so I'm just waiting to see that this goes live on my Facebook so I can follow along, and then people can ask any questions that they want to ask, and we'll do our best to answer them. And so I'm still waiting for it to come up. There it is. It's finally come up. Oh, look, Jennifer, I can see you on my Facebook, and I can hear me. I've got to turn the volume down. Okay, here we go. So we've already got a lot of people on there. Somebody from Perth, Australia is watching. Do you know Australia?
Fantastic.
Australia right now, like New Zealand, if you're flying to Australia and New Zealand, you've got to go under self-isolation for 14 days.
Wow,
So
I've heard 2 weeks.
It's going to really restrict people flying
Yes.
in, and it's going to really restrict tourism and so on. So, as people know, just before we talk about these wonderful opportunities for children coming up, over the next 2 weeks, we're going to do some special things. And one of the reasons is, I mean, we got to the stage where, we had no option and have announced that we're closing the Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter to the public for the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
A lot of places are doing that all across America and the world, actually, because of the coronavirus, but for the next 2 weeks. So we're going to do some special things now. Watch our social media so that you can get all the information, but we're going to try to do every day 3 Facebook Lives, one in the morning in the lab here with some experiments for
Yes.
kids
Yes.
that they'll really enjoy, maybe blow some things up or something like
Yes.
that. And we're looking about late morning to do those. So we'll get the times verified today, and we'll get that out on social media and on our website and so on. And then of an afternoon, I'm looking at doing a program with our senior zoo manager and others from the zoo. We have animals here at the Creation Museum and down at the Ark, and we'll do a special program for kids every afternoon over the next 2 weeks on weekdays so that we can give them something fun to
The
look
kids
at.
will love that.
And then each night, hopefully, over the next 2 weeks for the weekdays, to do something special for people, like some behind the scenes at the Ark, the Creation Museum, some interesting things. So we're looking at doing that sort of thing over the next 2 weeks. And so hopefully, if all goes ahead, I think we can reopen to the public in the
April 2nd.
month of April. April
Hopefully.
2nd is what we're looking at
Yes.
right now. So if you want to ask any questions, feel free to ask them. So I have with me, as I said, Jennifer, who's our educational content administrator. We're in our lab here at the Creation Museum. We'll have a lab down at the Ark also, hopefully by next year. And in June and July, so that's way in advance, but just so people, I want to give people sort of something positive to think about.
And a lot of people are planning now for camp
Right.
this summer, so.
So why don't you explain about the Explore camps, and
Sure.
includes a STEM camp, really,
Yes.
day camp.
Yes.
But you can explain about all of that and what's happening here. And we actually have a treat for people. You've got some little animal
I
or
have
something.
special visitors from our zoo here today.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So go ahead,
So
Jennifer.
we have 4 camps that we're offering this summer. We have 2 5-day camps, and during those 5-day camps, you're going to get 5 different science topics. So it's going to cover botany, physical science, which includes zip lining on our very own zip line course here at the Creation Museum. We're going to be studying forensics and zoology and astronomy. So there's no sleepover with these camps. It is a day camp, but it does include a ziplining experience. And then for astronomy, we get to go out to our observatory at night with Dr. Faulkner, our astronomer.
And they'll get to be in our new planetarium?
Yes, they're going to get to go in the new planetarium with an astronomy live with
Actually,
Dr. Faulkner.
when we reopen, that'll be a good thing because we'll reopen with the new planetarium.
Yes,
And
we're excited
we have
about
a
that.
laser projection system and sloping dome, an all-new sound system, and it feels like you're sitting in a spacecraft looking out on the moon, actually.
Yes,
It's
our new
absolutely
state-of-the-art
fascinating.
planetarium, so we're excited to get to use that in just a couple of weeks. And we also offer 2 3-day camps this summer. One is our 3-day forensics camp, so this just focuses exclusively on different forensics topics, and with a big case study on the last day. The kids also get a canine demonstration with our DPS unit while they're here for those 3 days. And it is one of the favorites that we do offer here at the Creation Museum. And then we have a brand new STEM camp this summer. It's our very first time ever offering a STEM camp, and that is with Teach Me Automation. They will be coming in the month of July to do a 3-day STEM camp covering engineering and the basics of automation.
Wow, so we've got a lot of offerings here at the Creation Museum. Now, also tell people during the day when the Creation Museum is open, we have special workshops for adults and kids, and that's automatically a part of the Creation Museum, part of their experience, right?
Yes, so we do have something called Discover Series. So while your kids are in camp, while you're here visiting for the day, we are going to be having special zoo workshops, animal encounters in Legacy Hall during that week, as well as something we call our Discover Series that is part of your admission here at the Creation Museum.
Well, thanks, Jennifer. So these Explore Days are really special, aren't they? Now, they're ones people have to register for.
Yes.
And so, again, if you can explain how to register for those, get your
Yes.
kids booked in, because usually they get booked out, don't they, ahead of
Yes,
time?
we're usually sold out for Explore Days. So during the school year, we do offer Explore Days. And so that is a 1-day program. We have 13 different science topics, and all that information is online at creationmuseum.org under the Education tab. You can access all the Explore Days that we still have open for the remainder of the school year, in addition to all the topics that will be open next year. And so registration for Explore Days next fall will open at the end of May. So it's important that you just keep checking the website for updates and open registrations. But camp registration is open now.
What is that noise?
It sounds like clucking. I think we have a special
You know what?
guest.
Even though we're talking about these Explore camps, I think kids are going to love this. So if you've got your kids handy, get them to come and
Yes.
get them to watch your phone or your device, whatever you've got, as we're showing this live stream. So let me see.
We have special
Leanne,
guests today.
here's Leanne, our senior zoo manager.
We'll see if
And
Rocky will stay sitting here. Hi everyone. So I brought a couple visitors from our zoo here at the Creation Museum. So here on the table we have Rocky. Rocky is one of our Malaysian Sarama chickens. He is very popular out in our zoo. Kids love interacting with him. The Saramas are one of the world's smallest breed of chicken. They're about a pound when they're fully grown, so they're not quite as scary as some of the big chickens that, well, you know, when you're growing up and you went and visited Grandma and Grandpa might have, chased you around. Rocky here does not generally chase people around.
you know, we're told lately that we've got to have 6 feet social distancing. So I'm socially distancing myself from this chicken or whatever it is.
Chicken.
Look at that.
Rooster.
So look, it just sits there.
Yes. He's a good boy.
Okay, so kids are going to have fun with some of our animals at
Yes.
Explore Camp. Yeah. So
And Explore Zoology.
now wait a minute. You got something wrapped around your wrist. Is that going to
Yes.
eat the chicken?
No. This is Noodle. She is our Kenyan sand boa. She is a baby. She's just a little bit over a year old. She is not fully grown yet. When she's fully grown, she'll be about 2 feet long. Noodle here gets used in our Explorer Camp as well as our Discover series and Animal Encounters as well. So she's featured in our Creepy Crawly workshop here at the museum, and then Animal Encounters as well. And Rocky is also featured in Animal Encounters.
So, Jennifer, explain some of the other things they'll do. And what's this part of the Explore Camp? Zoology or?
Yes, we spend one whole day looking at Explore Zoology with our zoo staff. So not only do they get to have...
We haven't heard that crow. Look at that. Wow.
Rocky says
Right
good
on
morning.
time, right on time.
So not only will the kids get up close and personal with our animals at Explore Zoology, but... He wants the microphone.
He wants a microphone.
He does.
Here, you want to do that again? No, I won't do it now. You're not going to pick. Okay, all right.
But our zoo staff as well takes the...
This is a great prop today.
I know,
This
this
is
is
fantastic.
like
We've never
perfect.
had this before. This is really great. Leanne, did you train it to do that?
Yes. Yes, he's completely trained to crow on cue.
Crow on cue, yes. Let's see if we can do it again. All right, I'll watch that. There we are. All right, this is fun. Hey, kids are going to have fun.
They are going to
I'm
have
having fun, and we're not even doing the program. And you know what, Leanne, you're our senior zoo manager.
Yes.
And so we're going to organise for the next 2 weeks, while the attractions are not open to the public for the next 2 weeks, at the zoo at the Ark and here at the Creation Museum, we're going to do some really fun animal things.
Yes.
Do you want to quickly tell them what sort of animals we have? I felt that touch my finger.
She wants to
We're
come and say
having fun
hi.
now,
We're
aren't
having
we?
a lot of fun
having
this morning.
today.
So here at the Creation Museum, we have wallabies. We've got, of course, our lovely chickens, who are always a huge hit for guests. Goats, alpacas. Our Zorse and Zonky are still here at the Creation Museum. They will actually be moving down to Ark Encounter at some point this spring, but they are still here at the Creation Museum. At Ark Encounter, we have... Thank you, Rocky. At Ark Encounter, we have our new sloths and our kangaroos, and got a whole variety of reptiles that we use for programs down there.
Give us some Australian reptiles.
Yes, we got some
Bearded
Australian.
dragon.
We got some Australian reptiles as well. So, and of course our camels.
And it's great to be able to have these animals as part of our Explore days as
Yes.
well. So why don't you go over again and summarise? We'll get Leanne to sort of see if she can... there we are. She's taken the chicken. So what do you have over in here?
Those are our Madagascar hissing cockroaches. So we use these guys once again for our creepy crawly workshop here at the Creation Museum, and they're also used in animal encounters both here and at Ark Encounter as well.
Well, there we are. So it's just a little taste and a little hearing of some of the fun that we have here. So Jennifer, why don't you go over these Explore days again? Tell people they're in
Yes.
June, July.
They are June and July.
Which topics, what numbers, where to go for registration, etc.
Yeah, so on our website, creationmuseum.org, under the Education tab, you can find all the information on Explore Camps, all the details about what the kids will get, including like camp T-shirts they're going to get, all the study materials to take home for all the different workshops that we talk about. And we will be covering botany, in which they're going to get a flowering plant to take home this year, so that will be exciting. And we're going to do zip lining on Tuesday with physical science. We're going to be covering forensics, as well as zoology, where the kids will get that up-close encounter with our animals and our zoo staff as they get to actually go into the exhibits out in the zoo and get to learn about animal enrichment. And then we'll be talking about astronomy with Dr. Danny Faulkner. And so that is all included in our 5-day camp. And then we also have a 3-day forensics camp in June and our 3-day STEM camp with Teach Me Automation in July.
Excellent, excellent. And you know what, Jennifer, before we finish here, I was just thinking and looking at one of the nasty comments that people put on my live stream here. But, you know, the Bible tells us that we have responsibility, right? God is sovereign, but there's human responsibility. And I reminded the staff of that this morning. For instance, when Jesus came to the tomb of Lazarus, he said, you move the stone away. I mean, you can move the stone away. You do what you can do, your responsibility.
Yes.
But then God did what we can't do, and that is raise the dead. And you know, here at the Creation Museum, for instance, in winter, when the pond freezes over, we have signs saying, don't walk on the ice. Now, you could say, oh, I'm going to walk out there and trust God's going to save me. Well, that's being irresponsible, right?
Exactly, yes.
We make sure that we're responsible. You wouldn't walk on ice unless you know for sure that it's got the right thickness and all the rest of it. And, you know, it's the same situation too with this coronavirus and so on. We are to obey those in authority, and the Scripture says that, to obey the government, you know, those in authority, except when it goes against, of course, you know, clearly against God's word.
Bible, yeah.
But we're to be obedient to the laws of the culture that are there, and so we are doing what the government expects of us. And we're restricting public access to the Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter because of social distancing and so on, even though we have the utmost cleanliness here
Yes.
at this facility. And our responsibility is to make sure that we do what's expected of us, and yet we have faith that God's going to look after us and look after the people And we live in a fallen world. We've got to remember that. We don't live in a perfect
Yes.
world. We live in a fallen world. So, you don't walk out in front of a bus and say, God save me,
Exactly.
right? We've got responsibility.
Yes.
So anyway, well, we're looking forward to all these fun camps for kids in the summer, June and July. We need to pray for each other, pray without ceasing, the Bible says. We need to
Yes.
pray for each other in this time. I know there's a lot of panicking going on out there and
Yes.
people who very concerned and so on. And as Christians, yeah, we need to do what's right. I mean, God told the Israelites about cleanliness and making sure that they wash themselves
Yes.
and to protect themselves from diseases. But at the same time, we're living in this fallen world, and so we will struggle through it. But our hope is in Jesus Christ.
Yes, we don't have
And
to fear.
It's a
so-
sure hope. But we don't have to fear. Christians
have
should
to
be
fear.
fearing. Actually, what a wonderful time to tell people about the gospel of Jesus Christ, because the most important thing is their eternity. Because one day, everyone will die. It's not that, you say, oh, I could die from a virus or something. That's true. But remember, everyone's going to die.
Yes.
And that's why you need to have your heart ready before the Lord. And we need to be responsible in what we do and trust Christ. Doesn't mean we don't get a little stressed, and doesn't mean we don't struggle through issues here in this world, because it's a fallen
Exactly.
world. We're only human, right?
Yes.
And it's easy to say, God's in control, trust God. But at the same time, we're human struggling through this world. But he gives that peace that passes all understanding. We've got to remember that. He promises that he'll provide for us
Yes, he does.
day after day. So look forward to all these wonderful camps coming up, and June, July.
June and July.
And Jennifer,
Registration's open. You can go to our website and register today.
register today. And do you have the link? Can you tell them the link?
Yes, it is at creationmuseum.org under the Education tab right on our homepage.
creationmuseum.org under the Education tab.
Yep, under the Education
Well,
tab.
thanks, Jennifer. Thanks
Yeah.
to, what'd you call that? Chicken, fowl, rooster, whatever it was. Rooster.
Rocky.
Rocky. Oh,
Rocky the
okay.
rooster.
Thanks to Rocky the rooster. He was our star today. He was our star.
He was.
And he left us a little message on the desk too.
He
you?
did.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, well,
A gift.
we'll have someone come in and clean up
Yes.
the little message that we left on the desk. Okay, everyone. Hey, have a great day, and pray for this nation, and pray
Yes.
for each other.
Yes.